Yes, welcome again this hour for our discussion. Today, I want to talk about how to become a better Christian, a better person, to reflect the good image of God in all goodness, in all love, in all mercy, and in favor, and how to walk with God in His realm of the spirituality. First and foremost, you need to understand that we have different kinds of Christians who live as replicated in the scriptures. The first person I want to mention about is the man called Enoch. The Bible tells us that Enoch walked with God and he was no more. Now, that is so brief of a life that we really have no much knowledge about what growth or what development he had on this earth before he was taken up. Remember, the Bible says that them that know their God shall do exploits. So we are supposed to enjoy the goodness of the land in all wisdom because God has given us the perfection of our mind, our visibility, and our structure so that when you walk in life as it is now, you walk for the glory of God and in perfection of humanity. So that wherever there is somebody who is not a Christian, when he sees you, he comes to seek consultation to identify the goodness and the favor of God. And this I will cite, for example, the man called Joseph. Joseph had nothing, completely nothing. But when you look at his lifestyle, when he was moving from the pit that he was thrown by his brothers and taken all through the prison, even without assent, the favor of God dwelt in him and he grew all throughout the time. And we are not told at any one point that he gave even a dime to any authority or to God to appease him for any good, but he trusted in God in everything that he did. So, how are we supposed to live so that we become better persons? I want you as a Christian to compare the life of Enoch, whom we are told in brief, the life of Jacob, the life of Joseph, even the life of Abraham. The Bible tells us that Abraham grew wealthy in the fear of the Lord, and his wealth traversed generations and times, and he was given a promise. Now we have the children of Israel. So, for you as a Christian, how much blessings are you supposed to be gaining now, being that you are enjoying the goodness and being in the glory of God? What restricts us? The first thing that we need to understand is we need to be aware of ourselves. Who are you? The Bible tells us that when God created the heavens and the earth, He put everything in it before He made man. And notice that that confirms to us that before you come into existence, everything that you need to acquire or to be stable, to have a sound mind, is already put in place. And then the Bible goes ahead to tell us that God made you and me in His own image and in His own likeness, which means that you need to look at yourself with that strength, that image, that holiness, and that perfection of God, which was designed in you. So whenever you approach any situation in life, approach with the mind of godliness, the mind of the highest authority in life, the mind of the highest spirit, so that when you face it as a creator because the spirit of God dwells in you. God does not know you as a Christian, but God knows you as His own child. And He calls you my son, my daughter, my child, because you have the Spirit of God. Now, when you have the Spirit of God, He is not the half spirit or the part spirit of God. God, in His fullness and in His deity, dwells in you. Book of Romans, for example, chapter 8, verse 16 declares or states, chapter 8, verse 16 says that the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Now, if that confirmation has been vested upon you and you are aware now that you are the child of God, then you need to manifest the characteristics and comfort and the love that you dwell in the residence of God right now is that you need to be very clear of your vision, your objective. Have a clear uh, have a clear understanding of what you desire to become in life. It is not the making of things but what you want to become by yourself. Because when you make yourself to become, then things will simply fall in place. But first of all, the first thing you need to do is to have that vision. What do I mean by having a vision? Having a vision is seeing exactly what you want to be in your mind, because everything starts from the stage of the feasibility. You must see what you want to become. For example, the Bible tells us that before God made you and I, He said, let us make man in our own image and in our own likeness. Now, that was the vision of creation. And that is why you notice that in chapter 2, He now forms man that He has seen in the feasibility stage. Now that you have the image and likeness of God, the first thing you need to do is to have that vision to see yourself in that particular. You create an image of the person of you in the days to come. And then immediately after that, now, after creating the mind and feeling it in your spirit of the person you want to become, and then at that point you start walking the becoming. And then now you get the blessings of God from that vision. That is where God deposits His blessings in you to become a creative being. So the words that you speak to the vision that you have, the words become, and then at the end of the day, you grow into the vision that you saw. Build the picture, feel the person that you are seeing in future. The other thing is that is the third one now is your creativity, creation. Now, this is something like you want to mold or you want to form the person you want to become. Now, by affirming and confirming through the mouth, what you speak, you become. So when you put your words into your spirit, you're simply putting the Spirit of God into action, which is inbuilt in you. So you already are in the formative stage of creating that which you had seen in your vision. Remember, the Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and then therefore, thereafter, He spoke things into being. So the moment you have put image into the spirit, you now speak the word into that spirit, and at the end of the day, after you have done that, you become, because you walk according to the image that you've built in your spirit. Now, the final thing that I want to add, the fourth one, for example, at this point, is coordination. Coordination, you must be able to coordinate between the spirit, the mind, and the body. So that's why the Bible tells us that walk in the spirit. Walking in the spirit means actually whatever you do must conform with what you had in the spirit and in your mind. And that is coordination. You cannot be thinking of what you want to become, and at the end, and then again later, you do something which is inconsistent with what is in your spirit. So you must be able to walk according to what is planted in the thought and in the mind. The Bible in John chapter 1, verse 1 up to 4, the Bible says, in the beginning was the Word. The Word that was in your mind, that is the beginning of the first stage. And the Word was with God. The Word is always in your mind and in the Spirit that God inputted in you. So when the Word is in the Spirit, the Word becomes one with the Spirit. And at the end of the day, when you go through to John chapter 1, verse 14, it says, and the Word became flesh. So when you coordinate through that process, it ends up becoming the person you wanted yourself to be. So when you become, or when you create and envision yourself in that person you want to be and walk in that life, then finally you become the person God destined you to be. So become the better person in you. You have the ability to become what you want to be. You have the strength to become the person you desire to be. The greatest man on earth, the greatest millionaire, the richest man, and the best person you want to be in life is you. You are the only obstacle to yourself, and there is no any other force. God dwells in you. And you don't need to look up to heaven, because you need to understand that as it is in heaven, so are we on earth. So whatever you think in the heavenly places, you have it already at hand, and it is vested in your spirit. And that is what God has put in you to become the greatest person you must or you desire to be. Thank you, and God bless you. Let us move on to the greater heights in this life. We enjoy the goodness of this life.